You haven't started it yet?
All
Oh my God.
All our act has gone.
We were doing a whole thing and he hadn't started it yet.
No. Sid Patel, live from Chicago at the second Cannabis Annual Drinks Expo. I'm here with Lisa. Lisa's the co-founder of this brand, Happi, and we're going to talk about some fun things here, and mainly brand activations. The cannabis entrepreneurs, this is how you do it, sort of thing, right? So Lisa, thanks for joining me here.
Yeah, Sid, cheers. We're sampling some Happi today. This is the Happi camper, by the way.
Super.
It's just, makes you kind of happy, right? Everybody that comes over leaves a Happi camper. That's what we like to say. So yeah, we're sampling raspberry honeysuckle, all THC free, by the way. And we're also sampling our new glow drink, which I'm just gonna grab and show. This one's gonna be awesome. It'll be on the market in Maine. First of its kind, actually, beverage. It's got multiple minor cannabinoids as well as lion's mane mushroom in it, blood orange ginger. It's super delicious. Sid, you can taste it in a second. And then our raspberry honeysuckle, is on the market in Michigan at 2.5 milligrams and will be on the market in Maine in a few weeks. So super excited, and this has been a really fun day.
This was very refreshing, yeah.
Really good, right?
Perfect for today.
Perfect for today. I know, a hot day in Chicago in the middle of the summer, and yeah.
Super. So I think I really respect you, Lisa. You are a hustler. We've had our podcast as well, and I know your background. So I think just for the young brands out there, I see that branding is one thing you guys are really good at. Your merchandising, your stand, your even your podcast background, to everything, you get it right, and I think that comes from experience. People sometimes, especially me also, I will be lazy in being a perfect thing at brand. How have you seen branding play that eventually it's a brand? Why are you so much brand focused and not just transactional?
Yeah, brand, and I think we talked about it a lot today, which is exciting. Brand wins the hearts and minds of consumers, right? You've got to have a good product. Having a good product is critical. And I just mentioned, I think product differentiation, there's a ton of opportunity in the cannabis beverage category. But if you don't have a brand that people connect to, then, it's just kind of another product on the shelf, right? I mean, I think there's tons of examples of this, Nike and Apple in the mainstream world, of course, but Happi gives you a feeling, right? We're out here today. Everybody that's come up to the camper has a smile on their face. It's a feeling of being happy, right? Of feeling good and making a good choice, right? I think a lot of cannabis-infused beverages are playing in the alcohol replacement space, and we are as well, right? So I would much prefer to drink a Happi than a glass of wine or a beer, wake up hangover-free. But I also want to feel happy just unwinding on my couch or in the evening going before bed, right? And so I think we talk about there's a Happi for every occasion. And if you think about it in your life, there's a time to be happy for every occasion. So brands are really important for that emotional connection, not just the functional product connection for consumers.
And how have you designed your brand deck, brand principles, brand SOPs? And as a founder, you're making sure that it's everyone's executing it.
Yeah, so taking a page out of CPG, honestly, I learned this from my time in working with Procter & Gamble on the agency side. It's a toolkit approach, right? Have a checklist when you go into a new market. Have elements that are going to work, right? So the Happi Camper is something that can appear in multiple markets. We've made it something that's an experience, right? So when we go to Maine, maybe not this summer, but certainly next year, we'll have the Happi Camper there as we expand to new markets. We have a checklist of okay, when you go into a new market, what are the things that we need to do to get the dispensaries excited, to get the budtenders excited, to get consumers excited? Everything from, launching digital assets to, again, doing, a lot of it is on the ground tasting, right? Put this in their hands, have them drink it. Do they like it? Does it, you were surprised, Sid, when you first tasted it. You're like, whoa, this is really good. This is refreshing. I think people don't know what to expect, and they're afraid because you're not a cannabis user and it says THC on it. So what are you going to get? And I think that sampling piece is really important, but having kind of a consistent checklist when you go into each market that is going to be true to the brand is really critical.
How are you, have you got any quality control processes in place, or it's just randomly you are checking every week that, hey, social media is abiding the brand guidelines or whatever? Is there any way you're auditing that, even let's say if he's wearing yellow t-shirt, for example, right?
Yeah.
So everything, how are you checking that everything is happening as per what you want?
So from a brand standpoint, once it's in the wild, it's hard to control, right? You give people like the best assets you have, you give them swag, you give them, talking points, things like that. But once it's in other people's hands, like we want the Happi brand to like live and grow and continue to evolve. So you can only sort of control it so much on your own social media.
So you don't keep checking again and again.
We don't. No, we're not like brand police and like about super compliant about that piece. When we launch in a new market, yes, like we want our manufacturing partner and our dispensary partners to represent the brand as well as we can. But on the production and operation side, like compliance is hugely important, right? It's super critical that they stick to the SOPs, that they make this quality beverage that we feel good about putting in the market.
Got it. One last one on the brand activation part, right?
Yeah.
You opening a new market, you got a dispensary here buying, and you want to put your truck or do something about it, or at least kick off a brand, right? What are the approaches you would give some tips on some methods or examples of different brand activations?
Yeah, so I would say it's awesome we're standing in front of the camper. I mean, Kaylee is our retail relationship manager. She does dispensary visits and all the time. I think the camper is an amazing asset, but again, just activations like meeting with the budtenders, getting them to taste it. Everybody loves swag, like getting them to get excited about the Happi brand, that there's something new. The other program we're launching in Michigan shortly is an ambassador program. So it's really about like those Happi like aficionados. We call them like our super fans, our Happi super fans in Michigan, sharing Happi with other people that may be kind of skeptical or have never tried a cannabis beverage before or don't know that much about cannabis. So it's really also women talking to other women, because Happi at its core, we designed the brand to be friendly to women in a format, in a flavor profiles, all of that. And I think when you hear it from others that you feel comfortable with, it's different than just going into a dispensary and hearing it from a budtender.
Got it. So I used to sell wine, right? So for example, if I opened an account, I used to tell them, hey, I'll come this Friday and Saturday and I'll make sure 2 cases are depleted. Yeah. So I had a clear ROI that I got to sell 2 cases and then ask for a repeat order of a floor stack, for example, right?
Right.
Is there a KPI or some pressure she has that actually she has to make sure that 100 tastings are done, or whichever, you got to sell, right? Upsell.
Right. Not yet, and I say that because it's so new.
Okay. So
and there
just
are the benchmarks are really not there.
Got
I mean, Keef, I think you met Travis from Keef, Travis from Keef, like they've been in the market a little longer than we have with Happi, but even them, they're in new markets, and every market's different, and then market dynamics change. And so I think, there are some internal sales metrics and KPIs we want to hit, but it's not that sort of level of accountability that you're going to see in traditional CPG or AlcBev.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Any closing comments for people out there trying to build a brand?
Know who your consumer is first and foremost. Who is going to drink that brand, right? Who is it? Because if you make a brand that you say, oh, this is going to appeal to everyone, it is going to, no pun intended, be a very watered down brand. So know your consumer, and then know what you want your brand to be about, and stay true to that. We knew Happi was a brand for women from the very get-go. We knew it was a microdose brand, and even our new products are designed to fit her lifestyle. So we've designed it really around that consumer.
One last question: how much of that is you personally, your values? Have you designed it according to what you also love?
To a degree. I mean, yeah, I would say I'm right in the sweet spot of our core consumer, and I've been in cannabis for 4 years, so I know what sells. Like, I will tell you, and this is not news because we've been very public, we will come out with a sleep beverage this fall. Sleep sells in cannabis. Sleep is very important to women. It is one of, if not the top usage occasion, next to anxiety is one of them. Happi Glow is designed to take that edge off at the end of the day, right? It's kind of like we talk about glow with the flow, like just chill in the afternoon. And those occasions are really important to women, and they're really important for the cannabis category, and we're designing against that. So some of that comes from experience, some of it comes from my own personal interest, and certainly like we taste all the products, we develop, we have a vision for what they are, and we've got amazing partners that help bring them to life.
Super, Lisa, thank you very much. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thanks,
Sid.